Welcome to Annexed Dinner Table. I'm Cassandra, and today I'm going to be taking you inside the box of Tekhenu from Board and Dice. Well, let's get to it. So we start with a rule book. We've got components. More components. Setup starts on page 6 and goes to page 8, and then we have key concepts, structure, a bunch of things. It seems like there's quite a bit of text, but there's also good examples, or a lot of examples really. And then credits are on page 26. And appendix goes on 27 through 31 with a quick reference on the back. That's real nice. We have a bag, whole bunch of components, which should have been expecting. It looks like we've got player components because they come all in the 4 colors: pink, purple, blue, and orange. Very interesting color component colors. We have the dice, which come in a couple different colors also. We have the white, black, yellow, brown, and gray. We've got some cards. Just because I'm horrible at opening it, I kind of like that it's not in plastic. Some more cards. These look like reference cards. We've got the obelisk. And then we have a stack of punch outs. And we have the board. Well, let us take a closer look at these. Okay, so it's all punched out. There were a lot of punches. We had all of these resources here, plus some other components, and then the player boards, which had some nice little punches that popped out of there. It seems like these little baby cubes are going to fit nicely, can I balance it, in those squares and can move up. And there are 4 of each color for the 4 spots. Then let's keep going with the punches. We had this cool little dial, had 2 sides, thinking maybe one for standard and then one for solo. And the little obelisk fits in there really nicely, so it will spin as 1. And then we had a couple different resources. We had these like scribe resources. We had some bread. I'll show you the bigger breads. These are 5, but we had some singles as well. And then we had this like paper kind of looking one. And we had, still looks kind of like paper, but like a dark paper instead of that white. We also had gold bricks. And that looks like a gold brick. And then we had this like paper, other type of paper. This looks, and then we had some of these, which just don't know what they all do. I don't know what they all are, but I'll find out eventually. And then we had a couple of these that have different symbology on them for things. And we had some scoring trackers, it looks like, time-wise, so 1 and then 2. Some more tracker symbology things. These ones were interesting because they were different, and some of them had like resources and some had the like faces of like gods and stuff, but variety of those. some different trackers, it looks like, or reminders, and then that one had some differences on the back a little bit. Then we had a whole bunch of these, which also had variety of things on them based on some different symbology, and they also were different colors on the outside. So like this one's a blue and a yellow, or this one's green and yellow. So, you know, doesn't always have to be yellow, that pie, like blue and green. So different things there. There are quite a few of these. Make a nice little stack. And then we got those player resource cards. So turn structure, god actions with their pictures, and then the dice affinity and the pillar abilities. So seems like they're gonna be very handy. Then there were decks of cards. There were 6 different ones. We had this hand one, and they're a little on the smaller side, but still very readable, and have different symbology. Has a nice little written thing there also, and some different symbology on the top. We've got like this ox pulling, just like the symbol of the gods type of thing, and then different types of gods. Then let's move to this time one with the hourglass, and again some symbology, some text, and then a little like upper symbology. So the vase, the bird, the eye, have these ones, which there were only 4 of, so it seems like these might be a little bit more player oriented. And they had these different numbers, 0 through 3, with a different little thing on the bottom that was unique to each of them. And this cool little flower. And this one didn't have any writing. It just had like victory points at the top and then some symbology on the bottom. And the last of the decks was this like temple looking building. Yeah, I'm still calling it a temple. And it sticks with the standard that we've seen, some writing, some symbology, and some like god symbols and other symbols on top. Oh, these ones are all flipped around. Yeah. And then we had the dice. They were just standard D6s. They did come in those variety of colors, and there were some uneven numbers where there were, you know, only 5 of the white, 5 of the yellow, but there were 6 of the gray. It's the main one that had 1 extra die. But yeah, just standard D6s. We had all of these player things. As I showed before, we had the baby cubes, and then we had these really kind of cool pillar things that are very circular. Slide right off. And they stand nicely. And you've got a whole bunch of them. And then you had, stick with the same color, this like little shelf looking thing almost, where it's supposed to like hold something or stand up straight. Maybe it goes the other way and it's like a shelf. But you also, like most of these, there were quite a few of them of each type. Had this little one that looks kind of like a bishop or some type of person of religion with the hat. And Yeah. Then we had these cute, adorable baby meeples. Like, look how tiny that is. But we also had a standard size meeple. And then its little baby. That's just so adorable. Then we had some discs, like scoring type discs. Yeah. But that was all of the pieces. Let us look at the board and try to put that obelisk in it. So that is what it looks like with the obelisk set up. And yeah, it just rotates there and it's pretty solid in there. This board though is busy. It has a lot going on. We have those different types of cards running along the bottom. And then we've got some sort of tracker above it, another tracker. Those colored tiles seem like they might go here because we have matching like colors here and some other things around it, plus some things here with different numbered dice and here. So it looks like there's a whole bunch of different sections of the board that you're going to be using. Couldn't tell you anything about them. And then it does also show you those God sections of the board, so you're not always having to refer back to that, which might be nice. But yeah, a lot happening on this board. I anticipate a lot of pieces on here. That's what the board looks like. Let's see how it all fits back into that box. Get all my pieces bagged, but the game board and then these player boards, I just put the different types of cards there, the obelisk and the little spinning part of the obelisk, and then just gonna throw the rest of these along the top. Yeah, it all fits. And then the rule book. I am so excited to try out that obelisk, see how it spins and how that mechanic works and affects gameplay. I think it's going to be really interesting and unique.